Yo, what is going on, guys? If you came here from the last video, what is up? We are back for some more Red Guardian gameplay. If you didn't watch the last video, you don't have to. If you just want to learn a little bit more about Red Guardian, go check that out. If you just want to see some cool, kick-ass gameplay of Red Guardian, well then, you're already here. So, enjoy, grab some popcorn. So, we got a couple of really cool fights. So, the first one here, we are deep in Act 6, man. This guy has 650,000 health. How much attack does this guy have? Let's see. What is it? I didn't even see. It is a lot of attack, man. This dude hits hard. So, Red Guardian can definitely do this fight. Spoiler alert, I don't solo this. This is a rank 3 5-star that I'm using. If you use 565, 100% I could solo this fight. Little difficult with what I'm working with here, with the insane health and attack pools in Act 6, especially at the end and bosses. Yeah, so pretty much the plan here. I kind of screwed things up right off the bat. I wanted to get my L1 off, but he got too much power. The Matador pushed me to a special 3, so I was like, okay. You can see this special 3 does 1% damage because this guy has so much health. Yeah, nothing crazy in the damage there. And you get to an L1 though, so now I'm at the L1, I'm going to use the special 1 here, and now we have the slow debuff. So now that we have that up, we don't have to worry about the unstoppable. One of the weaknesses for Red Guardian here is the limber. So there's limber on this node, and that's the real weakness. Just because if you can just parry and then heavy with this guy in a matchup, really good. I feel like he could be a pretty good Abyss option just for that. There's no limber in the Abyss, but when there's limber, it's kind of tricky because then your debuffs start to fall off. You can't really keep your trauma up, and so the trauma one is the furthest on the left debuff there, which is giving me the numbers in red. That's what's making me do all that damage. So you really want to keep that one up. And as you can see, the heavy attacks are spammable in the corner, which is really great. And as you can see, I kind of got into a rhythm here where I can do this fight with Red Guardian. But with that limber, we're going to run out of stuns soon. And once that happens, it's going to make this fight much more difficult. Still possible, even with a rank 3. But like I said, I'm not going to get it here. But yeah, still, the utility on this guy is pretty crazy, man. He has one of the best slows in the game for sure. And I really like that you can get it 2 ways with the special 1, or if you have it, you can refresh it with a heavy. You know, most champions, well, there's really not that many slow champions in the game. She-Hulk and Spider-Gwen are both on the heavy attacks. Stealth Spider-Man is with his combo and his web chargers and all that. But Red Guardian here, you know, you just drop that L1 and you apply the slow right there. I get hit, we die. Like I said, it was going to happen, but he can definitely do that fight, and just showing off that slow utility, really great. Now, one really weird and cool thing about Red Guardian is he can't gain buffs. He just can't do it. No buffs can be gained. So this makes him immune to so many nodes and abilities and interactions in the game. And it's mainly pros. I don't know what happened right there, the video glitched. So here's Pill for Regen, this node here. And so like I said, it's a lot of pros because you get immune to a lot of nodes and abilities. A little bit of cons because you lose out on some stuff where maybe you want buffs. And you couldn't do anything like buffed up, like you'd just be terrible for that. But I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. So on this node, for example, Pill for Regen, super annoying node. Anytime you gain a buff, there's like a 20% chance for it to be nullified and the opponent gains power, but it feels more like 50% in the game. I feel like it happens to me all the time, but it's irregardless here, man. It doesn't matter, or some people say regardless. Me and my friends always have this argument. But it's regardless, you know, it doesn't matter. The node's basically non-existent here because I don't gain buffs, which is really cool. And so this is in variant 1, by the way, in the very final quest. It's a random vision, and yeah, again, we're using the rank 3 Red Guardian, and he's doing some not bad damage. The damage ain't too bad. I love spamming those heavies, man. Really like that. For longer fights, you know, you want to get the vulnerability up I don't remember if I go for it here or not. Rebuilding my shield right now. We're at 11. I think I am going to go for the special 3. Am I? Maybe not. No, I'm not. I'm just going to build my shield to max. And then I think I'm going to wait for his synthesis first. Yeah, that's a smart play. So we don't push him to an L3. And now I think we're just going to go for an L2 again. Yeah, because when it crits, it hits really hard. That was some really nice damage. And if you use a special 3 first, you can get a vulnerability debuff up, and that just increases your critical damage even more. I mean, like, that was 61 hits for a variant 1 fight, rank 3 champion. It's pretty clean, man. This is a pretty clean fight. And as you saw, we completely bypassed the pill for regen node, which is insanely nice. So the next node that we can bypass with this no buff ability is Spite. Spite doesn't matter. With Spite, you know, whenever you gain buffs, the opponent gains power, but we don't gain buffs. So again, it's another irrelevant node for Red Guardian, which is really cool. And so this fight in particular is against Unstoppable Colossus, who obviously, it's in his name, he goes unstoppable, which is what makes him annoying. But not for Red Guardian, because we got slow. So we're going to go ahead and apply that slow debuff. And yeah, this fight is just so easy. All the things that you don't usually have to worry about here, with the power gain and Spite and the Unstoppable, it just doesn't matter with Red Guardian, man. It don't matter. You know, that slow is really nice. I love that you can apply it with the special 1. I love that ability, man. I like that it's just not reliant on heavy attacks like that. You know, there's you can get it through a special 1, and if you have, you know, you don't have to use a special 1. You can also use a heavy. I like the options. So that special 2 is pretty nice. That was a pretty good heavy attack, and yeah, you can see how easy it is to keep that slow up. If there's no limber in a fight, it's really easy to keep up all your debuffs, except for the trauma one. That one's a little tricky, but 1 stack usually is manageable. It stacks up to 3, but as you see, it falls off pretty quick. Yeah, 1 more special 2. Didn't crit on that one, unfortunately. But yeah, 1 more hit. That medium did like 5k damage altogether. Really good stuff. And as you see, all that node combination just irrelevant by Red Guardian's no buff ability. Now, another really cool counter for Red Guardian here is Aspect of War. So this one's interesting, man. So slow makes it so that there's no unstoppable from the Aspect of War, which, you know, is good. But Red Guardian can do something else. So with his ablative shield, there's a couple ways to fracture it. So, you know, just taking hits on the shield will fracture it, unless they're parries. If you're really high signature, then you don't lose any points in it. Using the special 2 will fracture the shield and apply the trauma, or if you get hit by a heavy attack or an unblockable attack. So there's not too many champions that can block unblockables in the game. Mr. Sinister is one of them, one of the few. Mordo is kind of one of the few. Is kind of stupid though, you have to like be holding block for a bit first. But there's not many champions that can do it. So on Aspect of War, if you guys don't know how it works, is basically after a certain amount of time, the opponent just goes unblockable. This node is one of the dumbest nodes in the game. But yeah, right now, this guy is completely unblockable. So I pretty much have to play perfect here. But if I do slip up, I can block an unblockable attack. I'll lose my shield, but it's worth it to be able to block an unblockable attack. So it makes him a really, really good counter for Aspect of War, actually, because not only can he bypass the unstoppable, but he can also help you on the unblockable if you happen to slip up. And the really nice thing, again, with that slow is, you know, it could be kind of tricky to get off a heavy attack while this guy's unblockable. You know, it'd be very difficult. I have to like pretty much bait a heavy attack without getting touched, and then counter with a heavy attack. But you know, you don't have to worry about heavy attacks with this guy to apply the slow. You can just keep using the special 1. So again, that's why I really like the functionality of his slow. And we didn't even need the unblockable safety net there. Boom, that Aspect of War Hulk down. I got him down to 50% because again, I'm using a rank 3 Red Guardian here, so yeah, I just wanted to show that. So some really, really solid utility, and his damage output is pretty solid, as you guys have seen. All of this is with suicides though. It might be a little deceiving, but all these nodes have fisticuffs, so I don't have the poison or the bleed on me at the start of every fight. But I got one more fight for you. Alright guys, so we got one more fight on the docket here, the final boss of all of Variant 1, Ultron. So this guy, what makes him so difficult is the EMP modification node. So what that node does is essentially every time that you gain a buff in a fight, he's going to get some gray passive shock looking things on him, and then whenever he uses a special attack, he's going to transfer all those shocks onto you, and it's going to deal a butt ton of damage. Every dexterity gives you one of these, any other buff that you gain gives you one of these. It's really annoying, and it's a passive shock, so you can't use willpower to heal. Even like Corvus isn't immune to it because it's not a shock debuff, it's a passive effect. So it's super annoying. The damage output can be kind of crazy, but Red Guardian here, he doesn't care. So because of the whole Red Guardian cannot gain buffs, there's no buffs for the EMP modification to gain the shocks, so there's no shocks to be transferred. So essentially Red Guardian is immune to the EMP modification node. Just another node that he completely bypasses due to that ability. So it's so niche, and it's a crazy ability. Like, you first reading it, you wouldn't think that it's this good, but it is, man. It's really cool. And so in this fight, I'm trying to use my special ones to apply the slow, just so that this guy can't evade, because this Ultron, man, he evades like crazy sometimes, and yeah, it can really slip. It can really screw everything up. But the main problem in this fight, and kind of one of Red Guardian's weaknesses, is limber. So with the limber, it makes it much more difficult to keep your debuffs up. If you can just parry heavy, it's so much easier. But yeah, that's kind of tricky here. So the limber is gonna eventually make it so that we just can't really rely on any kind of stuns anymore. But we're doing a good job. As you can see, Red Guardian can definitely do this fight. He's making pretty good work of it as a rank 3 right now. And yeah, everything's going pretty good so far. I'm going to go for my special 3 now at this point. I maybe should have done that a bit sooner. I was kind of focused on the slow debuff. Right there, he evaded, but luckily we caught him. So with the special 3, we're going to go ahead and apply a vulnerability debuff. So that's going to increase our critical damage rating by a decent amount. So we'll just be hitting some bigger crits. And that one's 20 seconds long, and it's even, I think it's 30% longer with the signature ability. So that one's really long. That one's really easy to keep up. Definitely the easiest one to keep active. But again, it's kind of difficult to get off heavy attacks at this point because I don't got much left in the gas tank for Limber. That was probably one of the last reliable parries. But we were able to weave in 2 heavy attacks right there, just because the heavy attack spacing is really nice. And right there, I was going for another heavy attack, and we just got slammed by an uppercut. But for a rank 3 5-star, we did a tremendous amount. If he was a 565, that would probably have been enough to kill Ultron. The damage from a rank 3 to rank 5, Cam was saying the math was about double the damage, so that was a pretty good run. And yeah, it's so cool how many nodes and stuff Red Guardian can bypass with that weird ability. But yeah, it's great, man. Red Guardian, he really is a wonderful champion. I think the best one this year, and I really want him. Definitely going to go for some Red Guardian crystals, maybe an arena grinds. I'm leaning towards crystals because then I have 3 days of my life. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of this guy, man. Great damage, great utility. Just a great champion, man. Really like him. Let me know what you guys thought of all this gameplay and Red Guardian. If you enjoyed the gameplay, drop me a like. It really helps me out, gets my video out there more. And yeah, if you want to see more, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. I try to upload every single day. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.